Oh man, I'm so glad I'm home. I'm so glad I'm home. I'm so glad I'm home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. I don't like to travel. I know that's not cool. I know everybody likes to travel. I'm making a little travel vlog after the fact because I barely recorded anything, barely took photos, was extremely stressed out. And I don't know, travel is just not for me. It's not for me. I know everybody loves it. I know it's what everybody wants to do. It's not what I want to do. I'm a stay-home girl. I'm a stay-at-home mom in the sense that I'm a mom who wants to stay at home. Okay, I'm a go home gal. I'm a home girl. I'm a home body. My body belongs at home. That's where I want to be. I don't want to go on an adventure. I want to treat travel like it's the 1800s. And if I voyaged to get somewhere, I've done enough. And then I just want to exist in another place. However, I live in Arizona. Most of my family is in Minnesota. My kids want to see their family. I want to see my family, but kids really want to see their family. They really want to see their cousins. And when it's 115 degrees in Arizona, you know, it sounds really good. Going to the Midwest, going anywhere where it's slightly cooler, even though my body registers 90 degrees with 40, 50%, 60%, 100% humidity in the Midwest as hotter than 115 degrees, no humidity here in Arizona. That's just me. I am a mutant. I am a lizard person. I want to stay at home. But look, I took one for the team. I booked a trip with me and our teenager and our 11-year-old and our 7-year-old. And I said, you know what? It's a mom trip. It's a fun mom trip. I'm going to be a fun mom. I kicked off this trip by being up the entire night before with what I thought was maybe extreme heartburn. And then at about 2, 3 in the morning, I decided I'm having a heart attack. But like any good woman, I did not want to disturb my family, did not want to disturb our travel plans. I thought, look, if I'm having this heart attack, I'll just keep having this heart attack. Then I'll get on this plane. I'll go to Minnesota. When the heart attack's over, I'll go to the doctor and be told I had a heart attack. My mind was not truly working. Look, I just didn't want to ruin the trip for anybody by letting them know I was dying. So I took the kids to Minneapolis. We got off the plane. We went and saw my friend Mo. I told her how I felt. I said, let's go to I don't want to go to the emergency room. That feels like a little much. Let's go to urgent care. I went to urgent care. I said, I think I might be having symptoms of a heart attack because if you Google heart attack symptoms woman, it'll say jaw pain. Well, yeah, my jaw hurts. I've also been sitting on a plane, clenching my jaw. Maybe that's it. It hurt so bad right in the center of my chest. It would come in waves and just be like, it was horrible. It was horrible. It felt horrible. I didn't want to freak out the kids, but they did have to go with me. But I was like, look, guys, I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. My teenager was like, should we take a selfie in case you die? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So we took 2. Neither of them are that great, but had I died, I think they would have made a good story. This is the last picture we took. She tried to make a heart with her fingers, but she's a millennial. She wants to do it this way, not this way. I think this way is actually cuter, but it is harder for my brain to do. Anyways, I didn't die. I wasn't having a heart attack. I have GERD, guys. I've got something, reflux, something. I said to the doctor, you gotta be kidding me. I'm just gross. It's just gross. I don't want to think about acid. I don't even want to have a body, let alone think about my body, let alone know that my body is having so much reflux that's in my esophagus. My dad died of esophageal cancer. Is that connected? I don't know. I refuse to look it up. Now I've got to go find a whole other doctor because it turns out that maybe eating garbage all the time, always feeling sick when you eat, maybe that's a bad sign. And I don't know what happened at the dinner before I flew out, but I was pushed over the edge and I truly thought that I was going to die, but I didn't. GERD diet, you're definitely not supposed to be drinking Diet Coke, but I think I have to change my lifestyle slowly. And if one Diet Coke a day is going to kill me, then may I rest in peace. Oh my God. I can't imagine my life without what I just felt. Anyways, now that I wasn't dying, I went to get a tattoo. Our daughter just turned 18. She wanted to get a matching tattoo with me. We went and saw my friend Emily, who just opened a tattoo collective in South Minneapolis called Ritual and Union. They're just getting set up, but Emily knows how to make a cute space. Emily is the cutest. Emily has done a lot of my tattoos. And this is not a shirt where I can like pull up and show you. For some reason, I didn't take a photo of us getting the tattoos or of what they looked like afterwards, but it's this one. There it is. You might be wondering, what is that? That's a tiger that our youngest child drew in kindergarten, and we loved it so much. And we always said, we're going to get that as a tattoo. We did. And he said to us, you did not have the rights to it. That's a copyrighted image. And that's a kid who pays a little too much attention when you're talking. One reason why I'm probably not a person who enjoys travel is because I just don't do it well. I don't plan very well, or I overplan and I don't leave any room for spontaneity. But I do think it's kind of difficult to go to a place that you used to live, where you still know a lot of people for a finite amount of time, and not feel like, not pressure, but like you want to see everybody, you want to have fun with everybody, and it's just not possible. So I tried my best to focus on events that let us get like the maximum impact possible. And that meant having all of my nieces and nephews over for a sleepover at our Airbnb. I committed to this not really thinking too deeply about what it would mean to have 6 children ages 12 and under in one room attempting to fall asleep on air mattresses, Murphy beds, and a sofa in the summer after I have fed them pizza, soda, and ice cream. I did make them walk almost a mile from the Airbnb to this place called Minnesota Nice Cream. It's soft serve. They've got all like the best toppings. I don't know. It's a lovely experience for the kids. We used to love going there when we lived in Minneapolis. So I made those kids walk. I made them walk almost a mile. You would have thought that I had tortured them. By the time we got there, they were so exhausted. They ate their ice cream. They had fun. And then I got the little ones an Uber back to the Airbnb. My mom rode with them, and the older kids who were like 11, 12, they wanted to walk back, but they wanted to walk back without me. Now, in the 90s, this would have been fine. I walked everywhere. I took a city bus alone when I was their age. Absolutely no supervision. My parents would just tell me what intersection to get off at and give me like a quarter for the bus. That's not the era that we're living in right now. At their age, I was babysitting infants on a Friday night. I would get rides home from like creepy, drunk dads, always the dads. And I would be like, just sitting in the front seat being like, I am hearing too much about your work situation, sir. I haven't even made it to 6th grade yet. I'm a grade schooler. I was just babysitting a baby. I was just babysitting a kid who's 2 years younger than me in school. Okay. It's a different time. It's a different era. Kids can't just walk somewhere unsupervised. They wanted me to stay 90 yards behind them. They don't know how far 90 yards is. So I stayed like maybe half a block behind them. They kept periodically looking over their shoulder and like shooing me back, but absolutely wild that I felt weird letting them walk home alone, although it was in a city that they're unfamiliar in. And also they are kids. We shouldn't have been that unsupervised. I don't know. Absolutely wild that they're living such a different life than I did. Like, they have no idea how lucky they are. And also, I do wish we had more opportunities for kids to just explore and be alone. But one time I let my kids go for a walk in our neighborhood, and somebody called the police because a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old were walking around being suspicious. They were picking up garbage. Ma'am. Okay. 2 cruisers in my driveway because we got a report of like 2 boys on a walk. And okay, anyways, that is a rant for another time. The kids got ice cream. They slept over. They stayed up way too late. I went out to be like, everybody's got to go to bed. But then they were like reading to each other by like a book light. It's really hard to be mad at kids for something like that. I did get to have a sister dinner with my sister and our sisters-in-law. Somebody, I don't know who, took all the kids to like do some activity. So we got to go to Kim's, which is a Korean restaurant in uptown Minneapolis. It was lovely. It was so wonderful. 4 adult women just hanging out, talking. no distractions, no children? Is it a GERD-friendly experience? You know, I can't say that it is. I can't say that it is. I was like, do you have any bland foods? Thank you. I have GERD. Thank you. The way that GERD, even just the word GERD, I am so embarrassed that I have to say GERD, that I have to have GERD, that I thought my GERD was me having a heart attack. We have not quite processed the GERD yet. All right. Anyways, we got to have a sister dinner. Somebody took a horrible photo of us. You get what you pay for when you stop someone on the street and say, will you take a photo of us? And this man was like, sure. If you see this, I think you did your best, and your best could be better. And I want you to think about that. I also caught up with a friend that I met in 2012, probably. We started our jobs a week apart. She had I think 10-year-old kids at the time, 9 or 10-year-old kids, twins, one of whom had a heart condition. I was pregnant with my first child. My husband had brain cancer. We had that kind of bond that happens when you meet someone and you're like, you're fun and you've also been through something. Her name's Natalie. We have kept in touch. She's just such a ray of sunshine. And I'd seen on Instagram that she got what I think is the most beautiful dog I have ever seen. And I was like, I gotta meet that dog. So I did get to meet that dog. I did get to go for a walk with Emmy, and I got to catch up with Natalie, and I got to hang out with Natalie's son Logan, who gave me a book of his poetry, and it was just a really lovely afternoon. When I left Natalie's, I met my mom and all of my nieces and nephews at the Riverview Theater, I think it's called. They were seeing the Minions movie, and I ran into somebody who was wearing the "My Dad Died and All I Got Was This Lousy T-shirt." I've never seen that t-shirt in the wild, and I saw it, and that made my day, and none of the kids could care less. That Minions movie, perfect. I actually do think the Minions are probably one of the best animation franchises as far as movies you can watch with a kid that you can get something out of, that are entertaining for the adults without being too adult for the children, and without being just annoying for the adults to watch. This trip ended up being 2 weeks long, which was not the plan because there was no plan. And again, that is probably why I don't like to travel. And I am taking any and all tips for how to go back to a place you lived and enjoy it. There's got to be a happy medium between having every day planned and whatever I did, which was just the absolute wrong way to do it. So we're only going to focus on the highlights. I ate at Marty's Deli, which I'd been to before. I actually went there twice because they have gluten-free bread. And while I was there, I ran into my friend Edwin, who I have not seen since high school. It has been 20 some year, 21, 22. I don't make me add it up. It's been at least 20 years since I've seen him. I'd recognize him anywhere. I saw him and I said, oh my God, Edwin. And we hugged. And this photo is proof that I am a catfish. I really am. I've got a wide range of ways that I can appear, and this is one of them. The server at Marty's was wearing this Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt, and I saw it and I was like, I need to find that shirt. But I also knew that in order to find that shirt, I would need to take a picture of it so I could Google image search it, because I knew that I would not be able to just search it and find it. And she let me take a photo of the shirt, and then I found it and I bought it on Etsy, and it is arriving in a day. So thank you so much for being nice enough to let me take just a photo of your torso and not thinking that was weird. Thank you. At some point we left the city. We drove up for a day trip to Malacca, the Rum River. That's where we sprinkled my husband's ashes, my first husband's ashes. We visited his aunt's cabin on the river. His mom was there. His aunts were there. It's one of my favorite places on earth. It is so peaceful. There's just nothing like a river, and the Rum River and Malacca especially, and Belle Reve, his aunt's cabin, is just incredibly special and so wonderful. We had lunch and just hung out. We obviously went to Malacca Unclaimed Freight. If you know, you know. If you don't, definitely go when you are in a good mood, because you will be sorting through a lot of weird stuff and a lot of garbage. But here's the thing. There are so many treasures there. One of my kids got a poker set because they're interested in starting a casino. I got a cute rug as a housewarming gift and some really nice Nordic ware baking trays too as a housewarming gift. And I don't know, they've always got essentials, and then they've got things that are absolutely inessential, and it's always worth the trip, even though everything is covered in kind of a dust and you will want to wash your hands afterwards. Oh my God, my niece got a cat. My niece is 18, just got an apartment. It's like maybe 300 square feet. The bathroom is a shared bathroom in the hallway. It is so tiny. It is wee. It is so cute. And she got a cat. She got a blind cat with wobbly cat syndrome. I was not aware of this syndrome, but now that I've met her cat, Dolly, I'm only interested in blind cats who have wobbly cat syndrome. This cat is perfect. This cat was in love with our 7-year-old who up until this moment was very allergic to cats. He was not allergic to this cat. This cat would like look into his soul and like just lay down and want to be held by a 7-year-old. I'm telling you, this is like some magical stuff. And it was just so lovely to see my little baby niece in her own little apartment. My mom and I took that little baby niece who is so cool. I mean, I literally took a video of her in slow motion because I was like, you're so cool. Can I take a video of you? Which is something cool people say. My mom and I took that niece and my daughter out to dinner. I ruined the dinner beforehand by just being like a bitch to my daughter, which like moms do sometimes. And then once you do it, you're like, that was not the right thing to do. I did apologize. I am still sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I did it. It was insane. I was like being insane. Anyways, I ruined dinner, but they still got to see my mom. So I guess it wasn't totally ruined for them. Oh, I got to stop and see my aunt and uncle, Mo and Di. They were like the funnest aunt and uncle. They were the aunt and uncle who didn't have kids, and so made your childhood so magical every time you saw them. Like my uncle found this picture of me at Christmas. He had given me like the Barbie dream closet. I didn't have Barbies. I wasn't allowed to have Barbies. My parents thought it might give me an unrealistic body image. They were trying to protect me from something that got its claws into me anyways. But my uncle would still buy me the accessories. And honestly, I think that was preferable. I didn't really need the dolls. I was there for the objects, the accessories, the scenes, the set pieces. At one point, he got me the ice cream shop, but it was spelled S-H-O-P-P-E, and I pronounced it Shop-Hey. I was like, ooh, Barbie's ice cream Shop-Hey. And I just liked putting it together and just like having like the scene, you know, more than I liked the dolls themselves. Anyways, we had time with them, which was really lovely. We did what all older people do, which is watch the news. So we had to watch the Biden press conference. My uncle pointed out that he is Joe Biden's age, but like a normal person, he retired. I think there is something deeply broken about anybody who like looks at themselves and they're like, I should be the president. Yeah, I'm the person. It's me. And also, if you are in your late 70s, your 80s, and you would rather have an extremely important, stressful job than like hang out with your grandkids, if I were either of the candidates' kids or grandkids, I would literally be insulted. I'd be so insulted. Like, retire, be normal. Be normal, retire, go like enjoy your life. Like TikTok, it's running out. Anyways, had a great time with my aunt and uncle. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole sentence. We also took a mini road trip. My mom and I packed up the kids and we took them down to La Crosse to see my aunt and uncle who are in their mid to late 80s. They are siblings. They both live there. They're my dead dad's siblings. So my mom's brother and sister-in-law.
Wow, look at that. Look how well I packed that up.
And my mom loves a road trip. I grew up going on unplanned, spontaneous road trips with my mom where she would not book us like a hotel. Like she would just go on back roads. She loved back roads. Find us the creepiest motel to stay in and be like, this is the place. And we would be like, our lives are on the line, Margaret. Our lives are on the line. Could we perhaps stay at a place with an internal hallway? That would be great. But my mom has a spirit of adventure that I do not, and it is fun to kind of go along with the ride for her, and she was in the driver's seat. So we stopped in Red Wing first because she wanted to go to Fair Trade Books. I had not been, and it was worth it. Red Wing is the cutest little city. We stopped, went to Fair Trade Books. Their thing is that if you've never been there before, they ask you what kind of books you like, and then they kind of match make you with a free book. They give you a free book. So my two younger kids got to do that while I just shopped and spent, a lot of money. Well over $100 because they've got used books. They've got kind of special books. I found 2 Folio Society books. I found a copy of Mrs. Dalloway and a collection of Emily Dickinson's poems. And Folio Society books, you used to have to like belong in order to get Folio Society books, which I only know because my dad was a member and I inherited some of his books. But now I think you can buy one-off books from them, but they're like special editions of mostly usually kind of classics, and they're expensive, but they're so worth it. They're just objects of beauty. So that was well worth the stop. We also stopped in Lake City, Minnesota. That is where my ancestors, Nora McInerny and Patrick McInerny, settled when they immigrated from Ireland. I remember my dad taking me to see those gravestones as a child. I did not make my kids do that, and I kind of regret it. But I did make one of my kids recreate this photo of the two of us that we took in 2014. He's much bigger now. There were too many people out on like the actual little pier thing for us to go stand out there, but we recreated it from the shore, and I still think it's really cute, but not as cute as La Crosse, Wisconsin. I don't want anyone to know this. La Crosse, Wisconsin is the cutest city. The drive down there is so beautiful. It feels like you are in Jurassic Park. There's bluffs, there's winding hills, like a river valley. It's so gorgeous. Everyone in La Crosse seemed like happy. All the houses were like sweet and perfect and lovely. And maybe it's just because I only have good memories in La Crosse, but I just love being there. I loved it. My uncle is a philosopher. He's an active philosopher. He's doing it right now. Whatever he's doing right now, he is doing philosophy right now. He's in his late 80s. Philosophers don't retire. He did not have a lot of time to hang out because he had work to do. That's fine. We went out to dinner. We had dinner one night, and the rest of the time we were just kind of bopping around enjoying La Crosse. We don't have squirrels in Phoenix, Arizona. At least I haven't seen a squirrel. We saw squirrels in La Crosse, and I took a video of a squirrel because it was a black squirrel, and I thought that was rare. I don't know if it is, but I was like, ooh, a rare squirrel. There he is. That's a rare black squirrel. Can't even see. There he is. Oh my God. Come on. I'll be your friend. Come on. Come to me. Come live with me. I'll bring you to Phoenix. You can live in my house. Come on. Come here. And I truly thought, if I can talk to this squirrel will understand that I'm also a squirrel. This squirrel will want to live with me. This squirrel and I are going to bond, and this squirrel's coming home with me. This squirrel didn't come home with me. No, we went to an estate sale. I love an estate sale, even though really they usually only happen when someone has died. And I walked in, I was like, oh, sorry for your loss. Sorry, God. And then, I'm just going to pick through and judge your dead loved one's belongings, like these cursed dolls. Cursed dolls. Cursed, absolutely cursed. Went to the sweet shop. We got there right before a rush, and I bought 1 pound of chocolate covered potato chips. I've only ever seen these in the Midwest. The best ones I ever got were from North Dakota. I don't know where from in North Dakota, but anyone who's from North Dakota is shouting at their screen right now the exact place where to get them. These were really good. These ones from the sweet shop. Everything at the sweet shop was good. I wish that we would have stayed and had more ice cream. But again, GERD. I'm not supposed to be eating high fat, high sugar, garbage anymore. But did I eat a pound of these chocolate covered potato chips? Yes, because change is dumb. I don't want to do it. I just want to have my body work without me doing the work. I don't think that's too much to ask, okay? Oh, we went to Pearl Street Books, and I spent like another $100 on just books, because if you're gonna fly home and have to pack everything into a suitcase, make sure it's books. Make sure it's the heaviest thing that you can possibly buy. La Crosse, that whole road trip, that was the end of our trip. And we were falling apart a little bit. We were out of clothes because I booked 2 Airbnbs that didn't have laundry because I am inept. My husband is a stay-at-home dad. I am a 1950s husband. I looked at these kids like, what do you eat? What time do you go to bed? 10, 11? I don't know. What's your deal? You eat every day? Twice a day? 3 times? My God, what? Only Lucky Charms? Okay, well, I believe you. That's not true. No, that's actually sometimes cereal. Okay, they got me. But what they didn't get was clean laundry because I booked 2 Airbnbs that did not have laundry and were not suitable for children unless you really want your children to be able to read a lot of vintage Playboys. We were done. We were so done with this trip by the time it was over. I'm now a desert girl. I'm a desert rat. My face, skin, hair, body did not know what to do with all the moisture in the air. I was so greasy the whole trip. I got back to Arizona. I washed my hair today. It was dry within like 4 minutes. I don't know if I'll need to wash it again this week. It feels good. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be back home. We went right from La Crosse right to the airport, where somebody at the Minneapolis airport ran into my 11-year-old son, knocked over his absolutely full drink onto the ground, laughed and walked away. I'm like, sir, I'm going to jail tonight because I'm going to find you and I will make you apologize to my child. Like, it was a weird thing. And I've got like a little sensitive boy. Okay. I've got a sensitive kid and I want to keep him that way, which is why I'm going to show him his mom getting in a fight and being put on the no-fly list at the airport. Yeah, we were done. We were ready. We're back home now. I don't know how to make travel better or more enjoyable. There's got to be some secret to it, or maybe the secret is just for me to stay home. I'm Nora McInerny. Sometimes you have to go on a trip, and sometimes that trip is fine. Thanks for asking.